I have another video for you today with the Vanguard speed loader. I want to do a couple of things. First of all, the main reason we're here is because we're testing out one of the new adapters that they sent out to me to check out. This was a printed file. I printed this in a 100% infill with ABS plastic, but I believe this is an adapter they're working on right now in order to make filling gas mags a little bit easier. I was a little confused when looking at this one because if you look at some of the other gas adapters, they come from the side and they have the standard ramp that allows you to fill the BBs into the direction of the feed lips that you want it to go into, plus it pushes the follower down and the previous BB down. This one though, I was talking to the guys over at Vanguard and they had mentioned that this is designed to go in between feed lips. Not all of them are going to work, I would imagine, but some of them. I'm not going to test every single mag that we just tested in this video just because we already tested a ton of them. I just brought out some of the ones that were giving me a little bit of fuss, and then other ones that I thought might work well with this one. I'm going to do my best to go through all of my mags and let the guys over at Vanguard know which ones this fits in so that they can go ahead and keep the list for themselves. But I'm not going to make you guys watch through all of that. Also, a few things that I wanted to address from the previous video. I knew this. They mentioned that it was still on. I left it on because I kind of like the look of it. This is just a protector cap that they put onto the dial. You can actually pull this off. I left it on during the entire video. I kind of like the way that it looks. Helps keep it protected and stable when you put it in a bag. But here is the dial, which is absolutely beautiful. It's got this nice rubber coating on the outside. I kind of just liked the way that it looked on there. I don't know. The speckly pattern of the base of the 3D print model looks good with this. I don't know. I'm going to keep it on. Sorry, Vanguard. Also, we got to turn this guy on because I want to show you a few things. Close this back up. You see it's still loaded to the brim with BBs. They did mention that when I was doing the AEG mags, I don't actually have to use this adapter. This adapter is going to be really good for some mags that are just a little bit more wonky, or maybe it's harder to get to the area of the area where the BBs go into, like the AG mags, or for things like grenades and stuff like that. But they said that I could just use these without putting this on. It's not going to make much of a difference, but it's nice to not have to use the adapter. It keeps it a little bit more low profile. So you could just fill your AEG mags with this guy. I'm going to do that now. The first thing I want to do is turn it on. And as we do it, I also want to adjust the power, because when we ran this thing previously, we ran it at 80% power. I'm going to... Gotta unlock it. Just make sure that it's on 100% power. We'll go to the options menu, settings, hold it on the power. I'm going to bump that up to 100%. I think that's, yep, cool. Back it on off, back it on off. Okay. And we'll test this on an AEG mag. Another thing that everybody kept asking is they wanted to see it run on an EPM1. I know this looks super weird. This is actually an EPM1, one of the small EPM1s, inside of an SRS mod kit. So that's your feed tube. We're just going to test it out on here and see if it works. This is the closest thing I have to a full-size EPM1, so we're just going to have to deal with it, and we'll see if it feeds. It's a little bit of a weird feed track. Yeah, he's going. Got to 120. Oh. That's it. Okay. So, I made a mess. I feel like I'm going to make a lot of mess today. At 100% power, obviously you could see, it just wants to keep on pushing the BBs in, and it doesn't auto shut off unless you really have some force on there, so just be careful. And we should be able to spew these guys out now. Right here, I believe. This is a little bit of a weird adapter, so it's not the same. Oh, there we go. That was all of them. Cool. We spewed them all out. Beautiful. Okay, so you can run it, obviously, without this adapter on there. Also, this adapter, I had made the joke that you could just, pour these all out into your standard BB filling area. Like, if you have, the BB container, you want to put them back in. But what they had mentioned is this is designed for high-cap mags. So you can open the window and load your high-cap mags and then turn it back off. I don't have any high cap mags, so I can't test that. I'm sorry. I think what we're going to do now is we'll kind of start just messing around with the new adapter, and we'll see if we can't reload some of the more challenging mags. If the mags don't fit with this adapter specifically, I'll switch back to the standard adapter that we ran last time, and I'll try it on that 100%. Because we ran it on 80%, I thought that was enough. I didn't want to break the BBs. The guys over at Vanguard did say that you could break BBs, or you could risk damaging mags if you put it too high and the mags aren't ready for it. Yeah, so let's, first we're going to try out one of the adapters that, or one of the mags that I think will work with this. Now, I don't think you need to, because the KWA-F90 loaded just fine in here, but the feed lips themselves, oh, that's a little bit of a snug fit there, huh? The feed lips themselves are very wide, so to imagine you could just go right between them. Yeah, you can. Just be mindful that prying feed lips apart probably isn't going to be the best thing in the world for your mags, so you don't want to force it on there. And I know these only load 30, so we'll go ahead and spread it around there, and you should be able to just load it like this. Bingo. 30 BBs. So yeah, this adapter works with the F90. The CGS Lancer mags actually work just fine, but we'll see if we can't get this to fit around that opening as well. Also loads no problem. So the Lancer mags will work. What else do we have? We have one of those little KWA KZ61 mags. So that's cool. It's a little different. That one might not fit all the way around. Nope, that one doesn't work. Okay, but this one did work with the standard adapter. This is the printed one. This is the one they sent me. So just use the standard adapter. Ones that didn't work were the standard, like, these are the Action Army AAPL1 mags. Will that go around there? Oh, maybe. Okay, hold on. It started loading, but it stopped. Which is weird because pressure limit-wise, I feel like there's not much pressure behind those springs. See, even at 100% pressure, it doesn't want to load. But again, you don't really have to do that. You could just pull the follower back. So like if I wanted to put this around and pull the follower back, that's gonna... Why am I doing this inside? It's because it's raining. Yeah. All right, so the 100% power, the biggest problem with the 100% power is the fact that it just doesn't want to auto turn off. If it slips off even the littlest bit, which is going to want to push your hand away if you're not really forcing it on there, you're going to wind up screwing yourself. I am interested to see with the modified PP2K mag. This is a mag that has not had success with loading anything. Even like the Odins with the adapters, it does not work. It's just such a long, such a heavy spring. But I think we might be able to get between here with this mag. Prying the feed lips, again, I do worry about that. Some of these you're going to wind up deforming them or wearing out the insides of the feed lips. And I worry that you might actually wind up starting to lose BBs up at the top if you have like crummy feed lips. So keep that in mind. This did load well with this. It just didn't load all the way. So I guess cross your fingers. Okay, it's loading. Yeah, see, same thing. Even at 100% power, that spring just does not want to give in. No, does not want to give in. We'll switch this one out in a minute and see if we can't swap the adapter. Got a high cap mag. That one fits around. That's so smooth. And we stop at 27 BBs. Another one that we had a hard time with, the one thing this loader didn't like was the KWA, or I'm sorry, the Crytek Chris Vector mags. Someone mentioned that they had no problems and they actually just adjusted the angle. First, I'm going to see if we can't put it around this new adapter. It just didn't want to load because of the angle. Yeah, it just doesn't want to go through there. Okay. We're going to save that for after, and we'll adjust the power output. We'll make sure it's on 100%, and we'll go to the regular adapter and see if I can't angle that. These are the VFC MP7 mags. We'll see if this adapter likes them. It just feels so wrong pushing the feed lips around that. Okay, did we get a full fill? Nearing a full fill. We're close. I feel like even at 100% power, it's too protective, which I guess is a good thing. But I think it can handle a little bit more power, and it just doesn't want to give it to us. These are the Northeast Sten mags, which are actually hard to get a hold of. It didn't load these with the standard adapter, so we'll see if this new adapter at the full power works. Heck yeah. Okay, so the new adapter on these mags is phenomenal. We have one of the weirder ones. I don't believe these worked 100% because of the feed lip. Maybe it did. Did it work? I think it worked with this feed lips. These are the Vorsk VMP1. We'll just see if the new adapter works with it. Yeah, it does. But even at 100% power, it didn't want to keep filling. Why is that? Do these lock back? I think these... No. Okay. Yeah, and we're still on 100% power. Options. Settings. Power's at 100%. Okay. Like I said, I think even on the 100% power, it's still just not enough juice. It needs more oomph. Some of these mags it just does not like. These are the VFC UMP 45s. These only take 25 BBs. It did load with these though. Yeah, it loads just fine with that. And then the big one, the big kahuna. These are the VFC PPSH cassettes. I'm not going to use this adapter, and there's a reason. I have tried to load BBs straight down the center of these, and you'll actually wind up breaking this little prong piece right here. It has to be loaded through the front and down. So I'm going to swap out the adapters now. I am making such a mess. We'll use the original gas adapter. And again, it's on 100% power. These take 120 BBs. And why don't we see if we can't get this guy to load all of the way. Straight on down. 3, 2, 1. That's 120. So with that adapter, we loaded no problem, no damage to the mag. Let's go. That is awesome. You see the BBs coming through there. Let's go. All right. The cassette does work. Now we'll continue on with the standard adapter and we'll run the PP2K mag. And we'll see if it can have a better time here. Got one BB that's kind of just in the way. I'm going to make it hard to load. Right on the floor. Great. All right. And yeah, it sits too shallow. It doesn't get all the way down with this adapter. I can try and angle it differently, I think. Let's see. No, it's not like that. No. Okay, so the PP2K, you're going to want to stick with this adapter and just pull the follower back. I think we had the same problem with the Vorsk mag. Again, still at 100% power. Little angle. Thought we had it there for a second. Nope, no dice. Okay, so even then, the angle with this one doesn't work. These, we should be able to get a few more BBs through it. If it can load the last few, it's going to be able to load all of them. We just need more juice. I just feel like the torque isn't enough. It's too safe. It's got too much of a safety setting. All right. The single mag that this thing has just not wanting to load, which is bonkers to me because I have tried this mag on so many different loaders and it does work. So it's just weird. Someone said they actually slightly angled it backwards and it feeds just fine. So cross your fingers here. Oh! Okay, whoever in my comments said angle them backwards, we finally figured out the trick for these. It is just an angle game. Very interesting. So we can load the vector mag. Let's cant this guy backwards as well and see if that fixes it. No? Okay, we'll go back to standard position. Still just not enough. We'll go tilt it forward. No, just it doesn't want to load these, which is super weird. Okay. That's about all I got for you guys. I just wanted to go over those few things with you, show you all the things that I forgot to mention, and then the new adapter. I think the new the adapter has merit. I think it definitely could potentially make a difference. The only thing is, like, again, something like the F90 specifically, right? The feed lips are just so weak on these. They actually break. So I would not use this on there. I also probably wouldn't use this on a GHK M4 mag. But something like the Lancer mags, CGS, this will work just fine. And also, where with these, it's a little harder to keep it stable. This might help keep it more stable. Why don't we try this guy again? Just on here. Oh, nope, that one didn't like it. There we go. Some of these is just angle based. There you go. All right, cool. So, some of the updates on the Vanguard. We have another adapter, so that now makes 4 different adapters for options to load your mags, which is really cool. I still think that it does need a little bit more power, a little bit more oomph to it, because some of these mags, it loads just fine. The BBs aren't going to break. Specifically, like if you wanted to just get a few more BBs through here, it's not going to break because there are speed loaders out there that can push this follower all the way back, and with no problems, the BBs don't bust. So I think you should be fine. Just again, be careful with your feed lips on these guys. I'm going to try and make a little list of all of the mags that it does fit with so that you know what it will fit with, and then obviously use your own judgment on what feed lips you're willing to pry apart around these. Because I also worry, like again, like I said, they have these concaves around the feed lips that come inwards. If you're constantly rubbing into those over and over again by pushing this in, pulling out, pushing this in, pulling it out, you might start to lose tension on those as well. You really want to focus on loading your BBs the correct way. For now, I'll catch you guys in the next adventure. Vanguard Speedloader and I out. I'll see you soon. Peace!